Hello, my name is Jason. I'm an author on ThemeForest. I sell under the account ThemeBlvd. And today I'm just going to show you one of the coolest features that I've recently added to my themes. A very small detail, but cool nonetheless, is the ability to control your fonts. So what I mean by that is, let's take here I have, on my little sandbox site here, I have one of my themes, Alyeska, installed. See these headers where it says information, text widget, these titles have a specific font, and then also the body text has a specific font. So from your admin panel, you can easily control those fonts. And what I've done is these header fonts, I've actually given you the opportunity to pick whatever font you want from the Google font directory. And I know this is a bold choice, but I've totally gone away from Kufon font. For those of you who don't know, Kufon is a JavaScript text replacement thing, and it's not really important how it works, but basically every time your page loads, it generates images on the fly that then replace the font. And it's kind of clunky, it just adds load time to your site, blah, 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 blah. But now that we have CSS3 and @FontFace, more and more browsers are beginning to support these fancy fonts. And basically, if your users are using a browser that doesn't support these CSS3 fonts from the Google font directory, it's just going to fall back to, one of their browser fonts. And some of the older Internet Explorers, the fonts don't look fantastic. But you know what? I don't care. It was cool enough for Google. It's cool enough for me. So let me show you how it works. So if we go over to our WordPress admin panel, on all my themes I have, you can find the theme options panel over here. It's going to be the name of the theme. So here we have Alyeska, and I'm going to drop it down, and I'm going to go to theme options, and then here a whole page dedicated to fonts. First option, you can choose a general body font size, and then actual general body font, and then the font for the header from the Google font directory. So I'll just show you real quick. So like say if we wanted, maybe you're making a site for old people and they can't see well, so they need some gigantic text. We're going to make it 15 pixels. And now you can see the text is huge. Okay, realistically you probably wouldn't want to do that. Let's go back to the fonts, put it back to 12. Okay, so general body font. This might look a little weird to you. You're thinking like, what is all this jargon? Well, these are called font stacks. And basically in CSS, when you are declaring a font, you have to keep in mind that not all of your users are using the same computers or the same operating systems. When you view a web page and a font has been specified, the web page or your web browser looks for that font on your local computer and then is able to show it to the user. So if you designate Baskerville font on your website, but the user viewing the site on their end doesn't have Baskerville on their computer, they're not going to be able to see that font. So what you do is you pick font names that are common, and then you build what's called a stack. So basically these are going to show in order. So like if we look at the top one, it's going to look for Arial. If Arial doesn't exist, it's going to look for Helvetica Neue. If that doesn't exist, it's going to look for Helvetica and then sans serif. And the idea is, for the most part, you pick fonts that are less common in the beginning and then more common in the end. Like you'll see that all of them have sans serif or serif on the end because every computer ever made has that. So the coolest part about this is I have picked out all these awesome font stacks for you. You don't even have to think about it. You just get to pick one from the list. And if you're wondering where these came from, I actually didn't create these. I took them, and I give credit right here. If you click this little Learn More link, you can see. These are by Nathan Ford, and I link you right to the blog post where I took them from. These are... a lot of time has been put into these font stacks, and they're perfect. So go ahead and just pick one of these for your body font. And also what's cool is a couple months after I first did this feature in my themes, then I had the idea to put the actual font previews underneath. So watch, if we want to change the font, you actually see the font change right in front of your eyes right there. So if you want to pick one of these font stacks, you can see exactly exactly what it's going to look like. Okay, so Garamond. So you can see that's the preview of what it's going to look like. We click Save. Now we go to the front of the site, we refresh, and you can see now we got that Garamond font going on. Very classy stuff, but you know what? I want to go back to the one I had. And then we have the header font. So this is what I was talking about. This is where I've abandoned Kufon. I've gone with Google CSS3 at font face. That's what we're talking about. And right here, this is not a live feed from the Google font directory. I manually have to keep this list up to date. So as I update my themes and maintain them, I'm always going to the Google font directory and seeing what cool new fonts they have. And you can see the list here of fonts you can choose from. I think I've done a decent job of providing a lot to you. So you can just see all these fonts right from the Google font directory. And if you start selecting them, you can preview them right here. So you can see a lot of cool fonts. And keep in mind, it does have to load this font. So if you're going to see a slight delay where it looks like HTML and then it kind of glitches into that Google font. And just the process of loading or whatever. So here we've chosen the lobster font. I'm going to save it. And also I put the body font back. I'm not into this classy font anymore. So now, keep your eye, see right here it says information. This title is going to change to that cool little lobster font we picked. And now you can see lobster font for our titles. How cool is that? Also, one thing to note is I understand not everyone is as excited about the CSS3 revolution that I am. So you might not like that in Internet Explorer 7 these fonts don't show very crisply. So in that case, for all you folks, I've decided to include the word none. So all you have to do is click none, and you can see the preview is just pulling from our body font. So we click Save Changes, and now no CS3 at font face is used.